Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigval here and welcome back to another video. Over here we're going to talk a bit in depth about the Ascension system. And while I have ascended quite a couple of characters, I'm going to be fully transparent here. This is going to be probably 85 to 90% accurate because I'm not going to be able to properly test them anyway. And this is going to take time because we don't have the currency to upgrade the passives. I only have to upgrade one passive like once, and a lot of the passives that we're going to talk about are going to be much stronger at higher levels or are going to be a lot more functional at higher levels. So this is going to be a rundown of my best guesses for this. And this is probably going to be better than nothing, but as soon as we get to see more gameplay with some characters, I get to upgrade some characters myself. I'm going to do kind of a tier list type of thing, what to kind of ascend first, as I did with the star promotion in the past. But for now, I'm just going to give you a brief rundown of this, because that's the best I can do right now. And you guys are not going to have the goddamn patience for me to figure all this out. So I'm going to give you my 85% probably accuracy rundown of this. So let's get into it. So first of all, a bit of a rant about the Ascension system. Like, it sucks that it still requires shards, and it requires so many shards. Like, man, I'm still struggling to get my Mr. Freeze towards 5 stars, and you want me to have him at 7 stars and then have additional shards to ascend him? Like, the only legendary character that I could ascend was Grodd, because I had some extra shards for him, and it's not too relevant for Grodd, but we're gonna get into that later. And I got comments thing like post some gameplay with gold ascended characters. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got, but for sure that's what I'm gonna post. So this doesn't really fix the problem that we have in the game with the additional hero shards. Because yeah, there's more hero shards to be used here, but the problem is I'm gonna have my gold swamp thing over here with 12,000 shards. If I want to send him and I don't really want to send him, it's still going to remain with a lot of shards left, and now we need shards more than ever. So I would love it if they could, let me put my, where do I put my face and not block the Ascension system anyway? I think here's fine. Let me get some goddamn shards converted from this. Even if you give me 1 shards for 100 converted shards for the specific class that this man is, I'm gonna be happy with it. But this does not solve the problem of additional shards, and it's gonna take absolute ages to gather the shards to max out characters. On that note also, we're gonna have this currency over here, which is Universe Orbs. I got so many of them because I had a lot of intergalactic orbs, which are the requirements to get characters from 6 stars to 7 stars. And as I said at the start of this, and as I'll say right now, do not spend gems if you ever get the chance to buy these, because that's probably not going to be worth it. Because a lot of people went ahead and bought intergalactic orbs whenever they dropped in the game. And yeah, if you waited to grind them out, I was at the point where I had something like 300 intergalactic orbs and nothing I really wanted to take to 7 stars. I don't think I even had something I could take to 7 stars on the main account anymore, and I just converted those. So you're gonna get those from League Invasions, and you're gonna get those from Soul Raids, and those can convert into those. So do not spend money on this. You might not have a lot of them. You might have at this point none of them. But at the same time, you're not really in a rush. Generally speaking, on this game, do not spend gems on something you can eventually reliably get. Like, yeah, I could use a bit more universe orbs, because I have a lot more characters that I could ascend, but I'm not gonna do that. Because since I also don't have the currency to upgrade the passives, it's not gonna be a huge difference rushing into that. The second thing, and that's kind of the main reason why I'm not gonna be able to give a proper rundown of this. The other thing being, I'm missing shards to get a lot of characters ascended. But for the characters I do have shards, I don't have enough to upgrade the passives. Like, I can get an upgrade, like one of them, but that's kind of where it stops for all my characters, and the only way to get those currently is to wait for the League Invasions to drop again, and we can earn some of those from there. So it's gonna take quite some time. And the passive of the classes are not made equal in terms of the fact that some of them are stronger, and at the same time, some of them are gonna be efficient, though a lot stronger on higher levels, but some of them are gonna be barely functioning on low levels, and we're gonna get to that in a second. They do have a guide on this, like an official guide for Injustice Mobile, and I'm gonna pull the maxed out values from there in a second, and we're gonna first of all look at all the class passives and what they do. Okay, so as I said, first of all, we're gonna talk generally speaking about the specific classes, and we're gonna talk about the specific characters afterwards. But something to note is that when you class ascend the character, you're gonna get more attack and you're gonna get more health. So while Batman the Drowned's class passive will not help her out at all in terms of her damage efficiency, it will help her out in the way that she will get more attack out of it. So ascending characters that you have as main damage dealers, but they were struggling a bit to get that 2 billion damage in soul rates because they didn't have enough stats is not the worst idea. But let's get now into these specific class passives. But just know that you're gonna get attack and you're gonna get health. I think on King, on average, the attack growth was like 400 attack per ascension, and it might get better as you get to higher ascension. I'm not 100% sure, but let's get into the class passives. Okay, so let's start with the Might class. I have my King fully ascended here, and this is gonna decrease incoming damage by 15%, and decreasing incoming damage is kind of the best possible way to be more tanky, because this kind of counts for everything. There's no way for anybody to bypass this. I mean, I guess except for true damage, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, incoming damage is like defense, dot resistance, everything in one thing. So that's pretty decent, first of all. And the second thing is gonna be a chance to get unhittable for 5 seconds. If you want a reference of how unhittable looks like, you can look at the Collector Special 2 or at the Blue Beetle Special 2. But effectively, you're gonna get... this is also a Reflective Shield. You're not gonna get the Reflective Shield on that class passive. Let's look at Blue Beetle, because it's a better example, because it doesn't get unhittable. But it's literally the Blue Beetle Special 2. See, unhittable for 13 seconds. Unhittable means you're gonna take absolutely no damage, and also, very importantly, you're not gonna get staggered while this is active. So the enemy's basically not gonna be able to hit you. You're gonna not exist in the fight when it comes to taking damage, but you're gonna exist in the fight when it comes to dealing damage, if that makes any sense. So that's gonna be extremely strong at max level. And that's kind of the problem with this one specifically. Because if we grab this here and see, it's gonna be 100% chance it's gonna be still 5 seconds, one successful special, but it's gonna be a guarantee, an absolute guarantee to be unhittable for 5 seconds, and that's most likely a big enough time frame to the point where you can use another special and get yet again unhittable. Also, successful specials might mean that the enemy has to not block that, but this, at level 5, is gonna be absolutely insane in League Invasions, in the Arena and Champions Run and all that stuff. All the Might characters in the game are gonna be, probably, if I was to make a tier list, 2 tiers higher in those specific game modes because of this existing. However, the huge problem with this, and why I don't necessarily suggest investing first of all into Might characters, is this is not gonna be efficient at lower levels. Just think about this way. In League Invasions, where you get a lot of the times one-shot because the characters that you're fighting deal a lot of damage, it's basically gonna be gambling. I have a 40% chance to not die over here. Let's go. That's not great. Like, if I had more of this currency, this would be pretty damn good for those game modes, but currently I would not prioritize this. Know that this is extremely strong, but if you get limited resources to ascend your characters for now, until you're able to farm more of those resources at least, I don't suggest starting with those characters, because they're really not gonna be efficient in terms of this passive. So if you get limited resources, for now at least stay away from Might class. Know that this passive is extremely strong, extremely strong. One of the best ones actually when it comes to how much impact it has on a fight, but at max level. So for now, stay away from my characters because you're not gonna get that much out of them yet until you get more resources to upgrade this passive at the very least. Okay, so here we have the agility class passive. This is gonna give you a chance for fast attack hits to become true damage. Not sure how explored the true damage was in this game. I think it was somewhere in the League Invasion modifiers, but we haven't seen that anywhere else. I'm gonna assume, and I think that's the way it works, true damage is gonna bypass every goddamn resistance or way of resisting damage in the game. I don't know if you guys play League of Legends, but we got that Vayne W that has percentage hull damage and has true damage. That's horrible in that game, but this is basically what it says. It's true damage. You're gonna deal exactly how much damage you're supposed to deal if the enemy had absolutely no defensive stats. And that's okay, that's gonna be a lot more impactful in League Invasions. In League Invasions, this is probably gonna absolutely shreds. And it's gonna go, if it's maxed out, all the way up to 80% chance. I mean, it's not a big deal, that's only 80% chance because it's gonna trigger almost every single basic. So that's gonna be probably extremely strong for dealing damage. I'm not sure how it's gonna work with Unhittable. I'm not sure if that's gonna bypass Unhittable, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. And the second part of this is gonna be fast attack damage. Fast attack damage is a weird thing because we don't have much of it in the game, and the small amount of it we had, I don't have the best interactions with it. They try to put some fast attack damage into some artifacts in these Atana's already as well, and those didn't turn out too great. So I'm not too confident in the fast attack damage part of it. I'm gonna test out Batman J Catwoman in the following video today, but fast attack damage is not something I'm necessarily looking forward to. And this opens up a very weird situation with League of Anarchy, and also to an extent the Batman Ninja team, but we're gonna talk about specific characters later. But just to make a comparison here, Harley's an agility character, right? So she's gonna get this, which is more fast attack damage. And it's fine because the dot damage is gonna get increased by the damage your hits do, and your fast attacks also count for dot, so the dot damage is gonna be increased a bit by fast attack damage. But then we get to other passives that other League of Anarchy members have, like EPI, for example, because she's metahuman, and she's gonna get a goddamn flat lethal damage. So that's the thing, if you're looking specifically to deal damage in raids and soul raids, I don't think the agility passive is necessarily the best thing out there. I think this is gonna be a lot better because of the true damage part of it in League Invasions. And we're gonna see how much fast attack damage really counts with some testing. Maybe it's gonna be a lot stronger when it's maxed out, who knows? But yeah, this is kind of the most weird one out of all of them, where I can't really put my finger on, is this good or is this bad? This is somewhere in the middle, okay? Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the tech passive is gonna be absolutely insane. Like, you're gonna get some crit damage out of this, and can exceed the cap up to 500%. And yeah, this is very weird because you're gonna get peak efficiency before you max it out, because this gives you 300% crit damage and exceeds the cap up to 500%. Yeah, first of all, let's take a look at this. I don't really have crit damage on this man. Hold on a second. Okay, so we moved on to Batman Ninja Batman. Yeah, this is gonna be like the Dark Metal cards, but you can't really compensate for this with more crit damage on the items, because this says it bypasses the crit damage cap, but it doesn't unlock it before the fight. I think it's gonna be either bugged or it's something that triggers as soon as you are already in the fight. Because if you put the Dark Metal cards, it's gonna unlock your crit cap before you get into the fight. This is gonna probably give you the crit damage after you have already entered the fight, But the interesting thing about it is that at level 2, it's gonna increase. I don't have the Ascension. Do I want to drop another Ascension? Yeah, let's drop another Ascension on this man. So I can show you how much it gives you at level 2. Okay, if we take another look at this. At level 2, this is going to give you 175, so it's going to be a 25% increase. But the thing is, all you need for the crit damage to be effective is a level 3 tech passive. This is going to max out a lot sooner than the other ones. Because, yeah, what you can do with this, if you get like a maxed out one, you can remove some of the crit damage on the gears. But I already have 300%, and this can bypass the cap only all the way up to 500%. If this could bypass it to 600%, it would be worth maxing out all the way to the max. But right now, if I get this above level 3, if I get it to level 4 level 5, it's going to be wasted because I have that crit damage on the gear. So you're going to get the max efficiency out of this at the lower level. And it's going to be pretty much like having a Dark Metal cards, and to an extent a weaker version of a Gorilla Grow that allows you to generate power on lethals. It's only crits this time. So you're going to get power generation and a Dark Metal cards level of damage on tech characters. And this is probably my favorite one. However, the sad part with this is, yeah, tech characters, buddy. Tech characters. The tech characters I would love some more crit damage on are gonna be my boy Mr. Freeze. Good luck with that. Good luck with descending my boy Mr. Freeze. Another character I would love to have this on is Blue Beetle. Yeah, good luck with that. Getting my 3-star Blue Beetle all the way to Ascension. Nah, bro. And it would be Manta. And yeah, Manta I think is the closest one out of all of them, but it's still so many shards away from that. In terms of other characters, I'm gonna test out eventually on the secondary account, I think, between Cyborg and Flash, because Flash has a lot of fast tech hits, and although he is metahuman. Yeah, we'll test that out, but Cyborg might take some benefit from this, though he's not the best damage there. I guess you could go for entertainment purposes but on like Pratt or Batman and get this, but the point is, before I get into specific characters too much, the characters that mostly benefit from this, we don't have an amazingly strong tech character that is also gold. We only got Manta, Blue Beetle, and Mr. Freeze. And there's going to be only a select few people that have access to ascending those things. So even though on one hand it's kind of my favorite passive, it's probably the one I'm going to interact with the least. Because, yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time ascending the characters I actually want to use it on. So it's a weird one. Okay, so for the Metahuman passive, let's first look at Batninja Robin. This is the thing that makes the Batninja team viable, right? Which is the Ninja Lethality, giving you lethal damage. And if we calculate this, it's gonna be a total of 1000%. Now, if we take a look at the Metahuman character, which is EPI here, she's gonna be getting lethal damage from this, boys. She's gonna be getting lethal damage, and it seems like it can bypass the cap. I didn't really know if there was a cap for lethal damage, and it doesn't say that Robin or Bat Ninja Team characters can bypass it, so I wonder if they're stuck at 500%, even though they could get more of it. But this is gonna be lethal damage, and lethal damage is great. Lethal damage is amazing. Lethal damage is like having crits, but in a different way, and we love crits. And this is gonna go all the way up to 450% lethal damage, and you can also get some lethal damage on the artifacts, some lethal damage on the 7 talents, so you can kind of compensate for this with the talents and the artifact bonuses. But yeah, that is lethal damage. That's all I'm gonna say about this. Lethal damage is insanely strong. Lethal damage is what I'm using a lot of shards to reroll for on artifacts. I'm starting to add lethal chance on all my characters because I have some lethal damage on the artifacts, and now we have lethal damage on metahuman characters, which is absolutely insane. It's a flat-out damage increase, and it's a good way of a damage increase. And this works a lot better with League of Anarchy, but we're gonna get a bit into that a bit later when I talk about specific things. But the metahuman characters got a really huge boost over here. And yeah, taking a look at the metahuman characters, Beast Boy is gonna benefit from this, but good luck upgrading that. And Flash is gonna benefit from this, and EPI. So we don't have a large pool of characters, but I think this is gonna make EPI a lot stronger, and I suspect this is probably gonna make EPI kind of the damage stealer of the League of Anarchy team. And on top of that, you're gonna get some splash damage on the lethal hits, which means you're gonna hit the tagged out opponents, which in League Invasions could be really good. It really depends on how this is calculated, because in the previous instances of seeing splash damage, like for example on the Raiden 3rd special, that kind of bypasses the other characters' resistances that are tagged out. So this could be extremely strong there, but boy, we have lethal damage on metahuman characters. I'm so excited about the lethal damage side of things here. And I'm so excited that I actually have some gold characters I can use, unlike Tech, because in theory I'm equally excited about both of this, both metahuman and Tech. I'm more excited about Tech because it also has a power generation side of things, but boy, am I ever gonna get an Ascended Manta or an Ascended Blue Beetle? Probably not, or probably not soon, unless they had another way to get legendary shards faster. But this is great. And the arcane one is the weirdest one out of all of them, and I think kind of the weakest. It's gonna give you a bit of power generation, and on specials you're gonna steal the opponent's attack. And it's gonna be only the base attack of the opponents. Oh, this is bad. The base attack, it means that it's not gonna count for gear bonuses, it's not gonna count for attack from artifacts. Let me show you what the base attack is. Base attack, you click on attack and this small value is the base attack. Yeah, this is terrible. Wait, that's God Killer. Let me see what it says on God Killer, because this also steals attack. No, this steals straight up attack, so in theory it's gonna be worse than the God Killer, and it's gonna be yeah, this is bad. It's worse than God Killer. It's only base attack. God Killer is still straight up attack, and you're gonna start off with a lower value. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't want to steal attack. And if you're like, yeah, but this might be pretty decent, and it also gets added to your attack, which happens also with God Killer, but might be pretty decent League Invasions and stuff like that. Not really, because you're not preventing the enemy from tagging out. It's so they can just tag out and you get tagged in against the character that you stole no attack from, and yet again you're always stealing their base attack. Imagine that in League Invasions, there's gonna be a dark side that has 30k attack, and out of that only 4k is base attack, and you're gonna steal 50% of it. It's gonna laugh at you. Yeah, the Arcane Resonance would definitely need a rework. This is terrible. Another thing with the Arcane Resonance, yes, stay away from Arcane characters. Just don't upgrade them. I mean, you can upgrade them for passive stats, of course. You can upgrade your Raiden for more attack, but what sucks about this is that a lot of my Arcane characters, generally speaking, are gonna deal damage with their basic hits. This man is probably gonna deal some damage with the basic hits as soon as Peacemaker drops. My boy Constantine doesn't care about the... I mean, he's gonna steal some attack, I guess, but wants to do damage with basic hits. The Raven can do damage with basic hits. A lot of those characters would benefit a lot more from passives that are from other classes. And with the other classes, I mean, the agility seems kind of meh, but I might be wrong about that fast attack damage. But the other classes feel like they got so much more than the Arcane class. Like, the Arcane class just sucks ass in terms of what they got here. So I would suggest you just stay away from this in general. Now let's move on to some specific character suggestions. Okay, so first up for Metahuman, I'm gonna try and see if PPI is gonna be stronger than Harley now. Like, we can in theory still use Harley in the team to get that damage against stun targets. Just use Harley as the support character and EPI as the damage dealer. Like, why we use Harley when we set it up like this with EPI in there to support Harley and not to straight up EPI is because Harley has a cheaper special 2 to activate her stun, and Harley has 3 fast attack hits, but the amount of lethal damage EPI is gonna get from this might actually be worth it, and I think I'm probably gonna spend my resources here to upgrade this. because I'm really excited about trying API out. And there you go, all my resources on this account for upgrading the passives, but I think API is probably going to be strong. Flash might be pretty decent, might be actually a pretty decent damage dealer now. We're gonna see how much he really gets from that passive, but again, it would be great if we got that at higher level. I mean, obviously Beast Boy, but the thing is with Beast Boy, it's another weird situation with this whole system. A lot of those things are centered around dealing more damage. In League Evasions, the main problem was not really dealing more damage, was surviving, and that's kind of fixed for might characters, but all the other characters that are not might are gonna get destroyed in League Invasions now, because the League Invasion defenders are gonna have passives that increase their damage, basically, for the most part. So what are we really dealing damage to? Because the league rates are at this point a joke. You can pretty much solo them if you are good at the game and got a good roster. We got soul rates where the best thing is 2 billion damage. So yeah, Beast Boy with this, my man Beast Boy getting some lethal damage on this would be absolutely insane. But I'm at the point where I have a 3-star Beast Boy who can do 2 billion damage already at 3 stars. So why would I need to get him all the way to 7 stars and get him ascended? And the problem with too much damage is going to be a little bit of a problem for a lot of characters, because this system didn't really change much. The characters that were already dealing a lot of damage are going to deal a lot more damage probably in most situations, and the characters that were not dealing enough damage are still not going to do enough damage, but they're going to deal a bit more damage. So yeah, this is great on Beast Boy, but I see no reason to actually go for this for him at least. And that's about it for Metahuman. We don't have any more characters that really benefit from this. Next up, let's move on to, yeah, Arcane. Honestly, stay away from it. That's my suggestions. Your resources are better spent elsewhere. I guess if you get like a crazy amount of these, you might as well get your Raiden up and your Raven up ascended for some more passive stats. But yeah, Raiden's gonna do basic hits. It doesn't do specials. I guess Ascension's gonna be decent on Raven because she's gonna do specials anyway, and she's gonna steal a bit of attack. But again, that seems underwhelming. Yeah, the main suggestion with Arcane, just stay away from it. Oh boy, for might characters. In theory, for might characters, any character you can see over here, like any of those, is going to be a top tier League Invasion character as soon as you get enough to get their passive maxed out. But until then, it's not going to be the best thing. So until that point, I suggest investing in characters that you need some additional attack for. After we have the resources to get that being a guarantee to have unhittable for a couple of seconds, bro, multiverse armor super cool. It's just gonna be something ridiculous at that point, because there's gonna be no way for her to get damaged. She's gonna tag in and she's gonna have an unblockable tag in, so they can't mess her up on the tag in. You use a third special and you're unhittable for a couple of seconds, and then you can tag out. You can use another third special. Like, this is gonna be something that literally can't die. This is gonna be disgusting in attacking teams, in League Invasion, probably in defensive teams too, because her AI, since she's got an unblockable tag in attack, tends to use a special straight up after the tag in attack. So I can't wait to play this maxed out, and I don't ever want to deal with this maxed out. It's that kind of situation with her. And maxed out passive characters, maxed out Ascension might characters are gonna be a nightmare to deal with in League Invasions, generally speaking. But yeah, I'm probably gonna send my boy Atlantean and rock comment. Oh, look, buddy, there you go. There's an Ascension. We got the resources. There you go, buddy. I can't wait to get a guaranteed unhittable on this man too, since he can also get healed and heal the entire team. Like, there's a lot of insane things going with the might characters, but for now, actually, I don't suggest prioritizing any of them, because yet again, if you don't have it maxed out, you're gonna have basically a chance of not dying, and I don't really like that. So honestly, for now, unless you kind of sorted out everything you wanted to sort out in the other places, stay away from might characters, because the only thing you're gonna get until we get the resources to upgrade the class passive is gonna be just additional passive stats for the most part, and a chance to not die. Now let's move on to the agility characters. Agility characters are still something I really want to test out because I'm not really confident in how this is gonna work. But generally speaking, out of all the options we got here, you're gonna look at Heartbreaker, Harley Quinn, and Batman Catwoman. But yeah, wait for the video. I'm probably gonna release a video today with Batman Catwoman at the very least, and I'm gonna see how that goes. But yeah, I think those two are gonna benefit from it the most. I guess you can also put on Last of Joker. My boy Lord Joker is not really gonna benefit from this because he's got the puppet gameplay. Like, how is fast attack damage gonna benefit my puppet gameplay on Lord Joker? That's just sad. But yeah, I wouldn't say agility is the peak priority. Just wait a bit on this one. And for tech characters, yeah, Mr. Freeze is gonna be pretty good with this. Blue Beetle is gonna be pretty good with this. Manta is gonna be pretty good with this. Good luck getting the shards, buddy. Good luck getting so many shards to upgrade those legendary characters. And when it comes to gold characters, yeah, maybe stay away from this. Like, if you got so many resources where you don't care, I guess you could get your Pratt or Batman to get some lethal damage for entertainment purposes, which is something I'm probably gonna do at some points. But other than that, yeah, not much to spend on here. But yeah, this is kind of the preliminary guide for this. I'm gonna do a more in-depth guide as I'm getting more comfortable and more knowledgeable with the system. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll hopefully see you on the next one. Goodbye!